All right, let's talk about being indecisive and making better decisions. I used to think that this was something that, you're either good at making decisions or you're not. And I was very, very confused because oh, hold on just a second. That's a little annoying. All right. So I used to think you're either good at making decisions or you're not. And I have found since I've gotten older that everything is a skill that you can learn to get better at. And it's very confusing too, because some decisions I can make really fast, and then some I could not. I would agonize. And it was odd the way it played out because some of the biggest decisions in my life I've made very quickly. And some of the smallest, most inconsequential decisions, what color I should get my nails done, I have agonized over. And so I I decided to slow down and look and see if there's a process for making decisions. And here is the process that I have created that helps me make better, faster decisions with more confidence. So I thought I'd share it with you and just in case it might benefit you. So, in case we're meeting for the very first time, my name is April Bragg, and my husband, Hiram, and I are the voices behind Bragg Coaching. And I am a clarity and relationship coach, and I help people make life altering decisions with confidence. So it's it's a lot of fun to help somebody in just an hour kind of get clarity, see what are all the options available to them, and then to make a decision that is aligned with their purpose or their values or their priorities. And that is really the key that helps us make better, faster decisions. So, anyway, just to set this up, I used to agonize over decisions. And like I said, I sometimes do, but I catch myself much more quickly. And here's the problem with unmade decisions, they are simply exhausting. So, this is how I think about an unmade decision. It's like having a window open in your house on a hot summer day while the air conditioning is running. It's very costly on our energy. So if we just have one decision that's unmade, it's like having one window open. But when we're carrying around multiple decisions that they're just waiting in the back of our mind, well, I need to decide about this. I need to decide about this. I need to make a decision. I need to decide. I need to figure out what I'm going to do here. Exhausting. It's like all the windows are open. that energy bill, that electricity bill, gonna be shocking. And so the solution is to make our decisions faster to save all that wasted energy. So, how do we do this? Well, here's how I do it. I ask three questions: when, who, and what else? When, who, and what else? I'm going to break these down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you three examples from small to very big life altering decisions that I have made using the when, who, and what else. So, when? When does this decision need to be made? Does it need to actually be made now or later? And if so, if later, when? This is a big one. This actually helps you because sometimes we're carrying around decisions that we cannot even make yet. We don't have enough information. It's not the time to make it yet. We're in research mode. We're in gathering mode. We don't have to make a decision, and yet we're putting pressure on ourselves to make a decision. And we sometimes just need to notify our brain of, hey, it's okay. Don't need to make a decision right now. Slow your roll. It's okay. So, if it does not need to be made now, then set a date on it, as in, I will make this later, as in, I will make it by the end of next week. It's interesting. I read a book a few years ago. I don't even remember what the title was, but it basically said if a decision needs to be made, it doesn't matter the decision, it doesn't matter how big it is. It can be made in the next 14 days if it needs to be made. So I have just really carried that principle with me since then of listen, if it's time to make a decision, it is time to make a decision. Go ahead and ask the other questions. And if it's not time, then stop worrying about it ahead of time. Oh, I saw a little reel on Instagram last night that says worrying works for me because 99% of the things that I worry about do not come to pass. And I am like, whoa, there's a way of looking at worrying. I worry all the time so that 99% of my problems do not come to pass. So that's what I'm talking about when I say, hey, just wait on that decision if it's not the time. Okay. That was question number one. When? Decide when it is so you don't worry about it. You can just wait until later. Then, who? Who else, if anyone, is involved in making this decision? Can I make it myself, or is someone else involved in it? As in, here's what we're asking when we ask this question. Does someone else need to bear responsibility for this decision? Now, this is a little tricky because we don't like to always bear the responsibility for the decision. So we want to like borrow other people into a decision that is not theirs to make for us to make, so that at the end of the day, maybe we can like shove some of that responsibility. Well, I didn't think it was a good idea, but they thought it was a good idea. So therefore, okay, that doesn't work because not if it's a decision that you are literally going to be living with the consequences of. So if it's your decision, make it, call it. Okay. Identify that I bear responsibility for this decision and I'm going to make it. I can have other people's input and advice, but at the end of the day, I need to check in with me. And if it's a joint decision, then get that other person on board and have the discussions. So I've got a couple of examples on that too. But after that, then you are going to ask the question, what else? As in, what else do I need to know to make this decision? What else am I worried about here? And what else can I think? So a lot of times we think that we vaguely have this sense of, I need more information before I can make this decision. And yet, I read another book and I don't even remember which one. If I remembered all the books I read, that'd be a lot of book titles in my mind. But it was something about running a company, or maybe it was business MBA or something about that. But it was talking about CEOs and how CEOs recognize, good CEOs will recognize that you never have all the information that you need to make a decision. You never will. If you wait until you have all the information, well, that's hindsight. It's 2020. The decision's passed. It already got made without you. And you're just left with the last option remaining. That's not a decision you're making. That's a decision that's being made for you. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But so you have to answer, what else? Like, what else do I genuinely need to know to make this decision? Can I know it? What else, as in what else am I worried about that my brain is like, you need more information, because that's what our brains do. They when we're worried about making the wrong decision, then our brain will do we need to do more research and we need to catch ourselves. So this is about how to make better, faster decisions. What else do I need to know? What am I worried about? State it out. And what else will I believe? Because we don't actually know everything when we decide. We have to tell ourselves, I know enough, or what I know right now is enough to make this decision. One of the things that I remind myself over and over again, a thought that I practice over and over again when making decisions, especially when I have to make it in this unknown space, is this: I will benefit either way. I'll love my decision or I will learn from my decision. And that gives me grace to be wrong. Okay. So when you have to make a decision and you don't have all the facts, and here's the deal, a lot of times we won't have all the facts, then remind yourself, I'll benefit either way. I'll either love it or I'll learn from it. Okay. That's the what else. All right. Let me give you the 3 examples. So these are from smallest to largest in impact on our life. Okay. So I've used these questions over and over again. And here are 3 examples. Example number 1, picking a nail color when I get my nails done every month. Okay. Example number 2, car shopping with my husband earlier this spring. So example number 1's cost me less than $100. Example number 2 is costing us thousands of dollars. Serious. You see how serious that is? So it feels like it's a bigger decision, heavier decision. We should take more time. We should really weigh it out. That's what all the thoughts my brain offers. I have to be onto it. And number 3, marrying my husband, like literally deciding, do I want to say yes or no if or when Hiram proposes? Ironically, you guys, ironically, this is what's funny. I have taken more time on nail color than come to that 3rd decision. I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But okay, so let's go with the nail color one. When do I need to make this decision? Well, I need to make it now because I'm standing in the salon and I am facing a selection of, I want to say there are hundreds of nail colors, but there might be thousands of combinations when it's all said and done. It's daunting. And the decision needs to be made now. When? Who needs to make the decision? Me. I need to make this decision. So it's all on me. What else? Well, why is this decision hard? Number 1, so many choices. I feel like I need to look through all of them. I don't need to look through all of them. Okay. I need to pick a general color and just go with it. I might not like the color. That's another worry I have. What else? I might not like the color. What else? But I can live with it. And what am I going to remind myself if I end up not liking the color? Hey, it's nice getting my nails done. It's nice me not having to do it. I appreciate that somebody else did my nails, and I'm going to change it up next month anyway. Okay. When, who, what else? That's how I use I find this so funny because I'm a clarity and relationship coach. And I'm like, I have to create a process to pick colors for my nails. All right. But one of the reasons it takes so long is because there are no like huge values, there's no purpose. There's no big values. There's no priorities that kind of make this decision, in aligned with me. So it's like, it's really just whatever I want. And for some reason in my brain, whatever I want are the hardest decisions to make. It's like, it's 50 of, it's 6 of one and half dozen of another. There's no determining factor that makes this decision a smidgen better than that decision. Whereas when I'm making a decision aligned with my purpose or values or priorities, then it's like, oh, well, this is a higher priority, or this is a stronger value, or this is a greater purpose. So now you know. All right. Example number 2, when my husband and I went out car shopping earlier this year. So when does this decision need to be made? It needed to be made in the next month. We needed a car, and it's a decision that if we apply ourselves, we should not in the next month, in the next week. If we apply ourselves, we can make this decision rather quickly if we know what we want. Well, I don't know what I want unless I do tons and tons of research. There's 1,000 cars. I mean, there's a lot of cars out there. My husband, however, is into cars. So he's already narrowed it down that he's interested in a BMW. He's always wanted one. So that kind of narrowed down our search. Okay, so the when question, in the next week. Who? Both of us. Now, here's an interesting thing. Do you want to know what made this decision harder? Was this who question. Because I realized when I asked who needs to make the decision, it's, well, Hiram and I need to make the decision. Both of us are going to be driving it. Both of us need to be happy with the choice. But there was also a third person that I was bringing into the decision-making process that neither I consciously realized nor did this person even realize, unless he listens to that podcast. And that is my dad. Because in my mind, my dad, who is a mechanic, has strong opinions about driving foreign cars versus American made cars. And he has always said growing up, listen, if you want me to work on your car, it better be one, one that's made in America. I don't work on foreign cars. And and so I just had this, like, well, dad went and buy this car. Dad went and buy this car. It's like, well, my dad's not going to drive this car, is what I realized. Wait, he's not involved in this decision. He's not going to drive this car. And considering that we live like 5 states away from him, I'm not going to be asking him to work on my car either. And thirdly, if there was something tragic, if it broke down in his driveway, he would get us out of his driveway. He loves me. He'll take care of me. But it's so crazy that part of the reason it was hard to make a decision on my part was because I was not aware that I was dragging my dad's opinion into this decision-making process that did not involve him at all. So once I just became aware of it, it's like, oh, who's making this decision? He's not making the decision. In fact, he would be the first one. And he was the first one after I told him what he bought. Hey, you buy what you like. You like what you like. And that's what matters. And it's so funny. But we can be conscious or unconsciously slowing ourselves down our decisions by carrying around other people's opinions, and they are not making that decision. They're not bearing the responsibility. So it was mine and my husband's decision to make. And so we just focused on what was important to us. And so what was important to me was I just wanted a comfortable and reliable car. And I wanted no or a very, very small car payment. And we were able to pay cash for it. So no car payment. Yay. What was important to my husband? He really cares about cars. He finds them interesting and intriguing. And he had always wanted a BMW. So even though BMWs are not important to me, my husband's dreams are important to me. And so I just got tickled that finally he gets to drive a car that he's always kind of wanted to drive. And so anyway, so I was like, okay, hey, listen, you pick it out. I don't have a big stake in this as long as it's comfortable and reliable and no car payment. All right. But what else was coming? Okay. And then what else comes up? Well, the what else is going to come up on everything. And for me, it's like, I'm worried. What if it breaks down? And it's like, April, every car is going to break down eventually if you drive it enough. All cars do. We'll deal with it. So this has a reliable track record, as reliable can be, but obviously we can't know. You can always buy a lemon. You can always, we can't know for sure. You can only do what you can know to do and have your back on the backside. So, all right. So that was decision number 2. All right. Decision number 3, marrying Hiram. I went through the exact 3 steps. When do I need to make this decision? In the next month. I had the idea he's probably going to ask me to marry him. He's giving all the signs. We've been dating for a while. He seems to love me. I love him. We marriage, engagement and marriage is the next step. We were in college, a Christian college. Everybody goes through these steps. Okay. So in my mind, it's like, this is a decision that needs to be made in the next month. Okay. So I need to know within the next month. Who needs to make this decision? Me. No one else. And that was a big realization because there is a part of, I was 21 at the time, when he asked me to marry him. And it was kind of like, this is me. Only I can decide this. This is because I want a marriage that lasts forever. I'm going to have to live with this person if I want it to last forever. Only I can make this decision. it's my bed to make and lie in for the rest of my life. Okay. And I wanted to make up my mind before he asked me, because I don't want to be like in the moment, like trying to decide. So I wanted to know me, make this decision ahead of time, no pressure. So I know my answer. And what else? And this is where it was very interesting. This is why the decision was easy to make, which, by the way, in case you're wondering, I said yes. it There was no else. See, we've been going to college together for 3.5 years. I had been watching him from a distance. We've been off and on in class together. It was a smaller college. I knew him a little bit. I knew his friends. I knew a lot about him watching him from a distance. We had been dating seriously for maybe 3 or 4 months. And I had the belief I am the type of person I can make a good marriage with a good man. So this was one of those crazy times when my perfectionist brain did not trip me up. I wasn't asking, is this my soulmate? Is this the one, the only one? Or is there somebody else? That's where my brain would have gone. I literally had the thought, boy, he is such a great guy. He is the type, before we were even dating, he is the type of guy that would make a wonderful husband. So when we started dating, I just kind of carried that thought. He is the type of guy that would make a wonderful husband. As we kept on dating, I did not see anything contrary to that. And I had the belief that I could make a good marriage with a good man. If we have the same values of both wanting to, stay married forever, avoid divorce, and we are both the type of people that will put effort into our endeavor, then we'll figure this out. And we both were that type of person. So that's to point out this. At the end of the day, there is no perfect decision. There is the decision we make, and then we make it work for us. So just as a reminder, look, indecision, it can be exhausting. It can be costly. And ironically, life tends to make it for us if we're too hesitant, as in our options just go away from us. And then when we're left with just this last option, then we feel like a victim. Oh, because we didn't get the chance to make the decision ourselves. Versus when we actually take the time to make a decision, it gives us back renewed energy. It gives us back more time. Oh my goodness, so much more time. We can learn to love it or learn from it. That's my big takeaway. I can love it or I can learn from it. So either way, it's benefiting me. And because we're deciding to take responsibility for the decision, it makes us feel like an owner in our own life, makes us feel more in control versus feeling like we are a victim. So at the end of the day, a decision made is better than indecision, even if it's not the perfect decision. Making the decision, because not making the decision is the worst option, unless you really don't want to take responsibility at all in your life for anything. And then enjoy. Don't make any decisions. All right. So final notes. As you notice, more time doesn't make a better decision. Intentionality does. That's why it was easier for me to decide, to say yes or no to Hiram versus, which out of 1,000 options of nail color should I pick? Because it was just yes or no, intentionality. And I could see very fast. I'd known for a while, this guy aligns with my values, my purpose, even. We have same priorities, they don't conflict. So that was an easy yes. Plus, he was super cute. He still is. Easy on the eyes, easy yes. Oh, so you can make fast decisions when you know what's important to you and what's not important. Like the BMW decision. Comfortable and reliable and no car payment was important to me. What's not important? The make, the model. Certain colors are important, certain colors are not. So that's why that decision can be made faster. But just encourage you. We get better with practice. So practice making better, faster decisions with this when, who, what else questions. All right. To wrap it all up, here's my challenge for you. 3 steps. Step number 1. If you are feeling tired and like you have a lot of decisions, do this challenge. You'll love it. It'll be great. Step 1, make a list of all the decisions in all the things in your life that need a decision. Small, large, just make a list on a piece of paper. It'll feel better just to see it all there. Big stuff, small stuff. For example, I'm going to do this exercise after this. There are things in my Amazon cart that I need to make a decision about. Weekend plans, whatever. Just make a list. Step number 2, ask the 3 decision questions. When, who, what else? And then 3, notice how lighter that you feel with each decision that's made. It'll literally give you more energy back in your life. Then you go back into the weekend and enjoying it. All right. I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below or send me a message on social media. You can find me at April Bragg on Facebook, April Bragg About Life on Instagram. Also, if you have a life-altering decision, then I invite you. I have a free clarity call. It's still free. And so I will put a link to that below this video, but it is, let me see if I can pull it up very, very quickly so I can tell you what it is. All right. It's aprilbragg.me/clarity. If you'll type that in, it'll take you to the calendar. And if you have a decision that you've been trying to make for a while and you do need some help talking it out, these when, who, what else, or maybe you're like, I'm stuck and I don't see any other options. A lot of times we just don't even see the options so that we can make a decision. Book a clarity call. I'd be glad to help you with that. And don't let indecision stop you in your own tracks, in your own life. Okay. Make the decisions. And the decision, you want to make it with the best of yourself. You want to make it from your future, not from your fears. We always make sure that we do that, on a clarity call. So if you want to take advantage of that, it's aprilbragg.me/clarity. That's brag with 2 G's, BRAGG. And, but go out, make decisions, stop being indecisive.